Hospital. Hospitals just kill.
You could just sacrifice.
Okay, I'm putting Nora in the audience for a little time out. I think maybe she needs a couple deep breaths for 10 minutes. That's my suggestion.
Well, I don't think you should just do that preemptively.
Well, she's got her cut up, wounded face as her PTR.
What?
Can you hear me?
Sort of.
Testing, testing.
You know what's interesting about girls? They just want to be loved.
Oh, Nord wants to be loved by Diego. That's her problem. I asked her question. We were playing the tarot game today. Looking at tarot cards, and all her questions was, how much longer till I get to see Diego again? Does Diego still love me? Questions like that. I mean, and so part of the rules of my house was that she couldn't repeat herself, and anytime she repeated herself, I would play the symbols, and I played the symbols multiple times. But it was a fun game, I thought.
You two were a good match, by the way. Because you have compassion. Did you read her Tanya?
Yeah, we've read all kinds of books together.
It's a good deal.
She's a nice girl, but I don't know. Maybe she's less programmed than even Buttercup at this point.
Maybe she's less what?
Less radicalized than even Buttercup.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, I was listening to Buttercup in Amir's room and live streaming her. I mean, she's an atheist. Um, I guess. I mean, she didn't even use the word humanist, but it's pretty pathetic the way she describes herself.
Did you record it?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, it's in. It might be in this room actually. Pretty sure it's in
You
this
want to
room.
send me a clip?
Well, when this room ends, you can just go back and click on your profile and then listen to the Amir room prior to us speaking
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting insight into her game that she plays on here with everybody.
The game of pretending to have the best interest of the Jewish people in mind, when in fact she wants to destroy us.
I would just call it her social game, you know, because let's be honest, she's not going anywhere, and this is just a pathetic waste of her time, and so that's why I say. I mean, if you listen to the way she describes herself, you could have more compassion because you realize how stupid she is. She doesn't read books. She sat there and questioned Mikhail, can you teach me this? Can you show me this? How do I get this? And I just kept writing in chat.
Talking about Buttercup?
Buttercup. Yeah, I said, Buttercup, you gotta read a book, stupid. And then she's like, kick John. He's
What
being
did she want to
mean.
be taught?
Oh, philosophy. Mikhail was
She
going
doesn't know
on.
philosophy.
She claims that she's a
told you
philosopher. Well, Mikhail was going on.
I think she was going out with him for a minute.
Well, they were talking about her butthole and black holes. Prince was saying he was going to copulate with her and show so he could see her black hole. I mean, anyways, it's just a joke, Norm. I mean, I'm not joking. Like this is what these people talk about. It is what it is. But anyways, Max, I know Max here from Chabad, and we've been friends for I don't know.
Is this Max Rice?
No, this is Gruber.
Well, hello to you. If you're a friend of John, then you're okay in my book.
Yeah, Max is a Talmud Chacham. His dad married a gorgeous woman who converted, and his dad is a world-famous speech therapist that teaches non-native English speakers how to speak English. There's no bigotry against you, Nora. You're gonna be able to come back up here. Just raise your hand. But I just put you in the timeout because I felt like you could
I
use
think that was a little abusive.
to put her in the
You
goo.
gotta let her back up because I'm curious about this picture. Why her face is
She tripped.
split open.
She tripped and hit the screen door of her house.
Norm did voodoo.
Oh, there you go.
See that?
Oh, he left.
Yeah, you insulted him.
Okay, there's no such thing as voodoo in the Jewish religion.
Well, what's your point?
How's that an insult?
Because if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it.
I think you kicked him out.
I didn't kick him out. He said, I'm out of here.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Anyways, yeah, this catfish here, Max, tripped and cut her face on her door.
I'm more of a scarfish now.
At least she's got a sense of humor. So, Max, are you working out? Because I just ate a large cheese pizza by myself. I mean, I didn't go to the gym today, but
I asked you if you were going to eat pizza today earlier. You've had pizza for 3 nights in a row.
oh no, don't remind me.
What did I eat for dinner? Oh, I had labana.
What's that? Goat milk?
You know what labana is? And you call yourself a Jordanian visitor.
The dairy product, Lebanon.
Yeah, Lebanon, olive oil and olives and bread.
Max, did you join a gym out there yet? Did you find a nice Equinox with hot 24-year-olds?
Yeah, I did join a gym. It's called Langford Farms. You can look it up. It's
Nice.
4-minute drive away.
Nice.
And it's they just redid it, but it's like old barn basically.
Mm-hmm. Cool. As long as you break a sweat, get your pump.
Yeah. I mean, it's all like, everything they have is, you can shovel hay, you can milk the cows and get like a wrist workout. It's all like,
What?
farm work.
You go work. You. Bro, if you're not moving battle, man, you're just farming. That's not a workout.
I'm kidding.
Well, I always encourage Nori here to go to the gym.
I used to work out regularly, John, and then I injured my face.
Yeah.
Okay?
So what? You still need to go to the gym and work out. You can't be on Clubhouse all day long talking all day long.
It's exercise for my face. I don't mind.
Okay, I'm going.
Okay, good night. Talk to you soon.
See ya. All right, bye.
I don't mind being fat.
No one minds being fat. Are you brushing your teeth?
Yeah, even brushing my teeth is a sport. My face is numb.
Painful.
Norm has me blocked.
He blocked you?
Yeah, so many people blocked me.
Oh. I wonder why.
I can't really feel. Oh, it's okay. Oh well.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to Amir's room. How did I do this here? Okay. Let's listen back into the terrorist supporter, Amir.
Mostly calling ethnicity. So I really think it's up to the group and how much of that they choose to make part of their identity. And I think that's why traumatic experiences are much more transformative in people's identity. Like it has to do more, it impacts their identity more than those that aren't traumatic. And so I think that's where you have groups forming with stronger, like, so-called boundaries. But yeah, I can't see that there's a shared history there. A lot of the nation states are built on completely official grounds, right? They're totally made up stories about who we are and what our history is so that we can unite. Look at America. Oh, land of the free, home of the brave, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was taught all that nonsense growing up here. Then I realized, wait a minute, all the people actually from here and the majority of the people who have lived here never had that experience, you know, but am I going to choose to adopt that narrative and make that my sense of what it means to have an American identity? I mean, I could, but I would know that it's not true, you know, so I have to be honest about that.
Thank you. That was really like prescient observation.
I don't even understand why the fuck do you guys care?
Like Buttercup, I was saying like if 1 second, I'm so sorry.
Are you talking to me, Prince, or are you talking to me?
Everybody is arguing this stupid argument.
I'm saying like if religion becomes like the prime factor for 1 second for the ethnicity of a certain people, right? Then as that religion fades or the religiosity fades, that ethnicity tends to fade. Okay, there are other factors that support the ethnicity, such as such as yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Buttercup. And I'm just saying, like one such important factor is religion because it was like the initial starting point of it. For example, if I don't take to Islam tomorrow and my entire lineage doesn't after me, I still can continue to maintain my ethnicity as a Persian, right? So this is what we're trying to say, I think. Now, there are other factors that bind to ethnicity, such as trauma, such as we feelings, such as culture, such as other people recognizing it, etc. But I'm saying when it starts off with religiosity or religion, as religion fades, the ethnicity tends to also kind of take a different look.
Ethnicities don't have like a start and an end, okay? These are things that evolve over time. And I just want to say, in America, for example, this big melting pot, most ethnicities over time are diluted, and people don't identify. People who are an eighth Black or an eighth Hispanic don't necessarily identify as Hispanic. Over time, all ethnicities get diluted, right? And similarly,
yeah, I agree with that.
But I think, Buttercup, one thing we're missing is that Nargis doesn't recognize that this Persian identity is something artificially created during the time of the Shah, right? It doesn't have like some deep roots. There wasn't like a living tradition identity. What she's referring to. Listen. This specific Persian identity, if you ask what is it, it's going to be remnant of things that were created in modern times. There's not access to culture and identity.
What are you like a year from like thousands of years?
I know. I'm saying you got to look. I know a lot of Persians in different cities, right? Usually they are Persian because they're not Muslim, so they're trying to reconstruct an identity. But even there, if you actually talk to them, a lot of their language, right, is the Islamic language. A lot of their practices are going to be like tied to religious practices, but they're trying to create the separation. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Like, who am I to say what's true Persian culture? What I'm saying is that you have to recognize also that a lot of things were created in modern times as a way to try to unify a group of people, really based on history from 5,000 years ago. We can't deny that.
Well, Muslim, I'm gonna push back on this a little bit. So many Iranians nationality. When they call themselves Persian, it's not to say that we're not Muslim. The reason is because well, at least in America, I can tell you in the 1980s with the Iran-Iraq War, and after the 1970s hostage crisis, the name Iran or being Iranian had a very bad stigma to it. But it's not because of Islam, it's because of, just as...
You want to say we're not Arab. That's what we're doing.
The good guys and we're the bad guys.
No, we're saying we're not Arab.
In the 1980s, Iraq was the good guy and Iran was the bad guy. Okay, so that's why Iranians call themselves Persians, is to get away from that negative stigma. You know, we're like we a lot of us fled that country because of the rule of the Islamic Republic, and then we come to, you know, country like America seeking a better future, and then we're called terrorists here. You know what I mean? It's such a bad, we put a lot of, that's one of the reasons. Second, when we talk about our Persian identity, it's way before, and I don't know which king you're talking about, but it goes back way further than that. When we talk Persian heritage, even people today that are practicing Muslims will often go back to the time of Zoroaster and refer to a 5,000-year heritage. So if you look at how we celebrate our new year or the spring equinox, if you look at a lot of the traditions we have, they far precede the time where Iran or Persia was even Muslim. Okay, so
yes, I know Taco. But let me give you the example, Taco. I'm understanding what you're saying, Taco. Here's the other example that relates. It's in the same way that Americans want to connect themselves to Roman history, right? Like there's this sense of, oh, our identity traces back to this much longer tradition, the Romans and the Greeks, etc. Right? There's like Stoicism. A lot of people study this stuff. You know, they come from a European American background. What I'm saying is, I'm not denying that the Persian existed far before, you know, the Arab conquests and the time. Even Iran itself, that region, that went through several transformations, right? The fact that it's Shia now wasn't its entire history. What I mean, like, that I understand the identity, the acknowledgement of what you want to call yourself. I understand that. But there is a culture, and I'll give you one, it's a silly example, but ask yourself how many Persians do you know that drive around in G-Wagons, right? And that it's connection to the time of the Shah, rather than a connection to, let's say, some several thousand-year-old history. All I'm saying is that sometimes it's a little more superficial, it's usually because you're trying to create a new identity. And most of the identities, like it's most of world identity today, especially the nation-state identity, is completely artificial. Like it's constructed on top of actual tradition and culture in a way to formulate this thing that could unite a group of people.
All identity is
it's a way to organize ourselves. That was really smart, Taco. That was really smart. Like in America, it's like you read Philip Roth, you like Woody Allen, you have Woody Allen glasses, you talk with your hands. These are all like superficial things that make you Jewish. You become a doctor or a lawyer. These are all like kind of superficial constructs, which is just the way we like humans, as the human species, like to categorize ourselves, right?
Yeah. Now, Muslim, I have a question for you. It seems I'm just gonna take a guess here, but are you?
Huh? Oh, how's it going?
I did a little live joke tonight.
Are you swiping right on Hinge?
No, I did a little live show on Christian nationalism.
Well, what's your topics about?
It was about Christian nationalism. I did with my buddy Bill. We did a whole show about the history of Christian nationalisms. And, it was good.
Well, what do you think? George Bush, Dick Cheney are the outcomes of Christian nationalism?
No, I talked about how basically I think we do need, the cultures are religious and largely, there aren't really secular cultures, right? And Stalin is the example of this, right? That like Stalin, it's like you get secular religion if you try to, just secularize things, it really doesn't work. And so, it was interesting. I need a lot of T.S. Eliot. Yeah, it was fun.
Anything that you learned?
Identity. We had this Reconstructionist rabbi respond to us. He had a great thing about just basically how people feel threatened when their identity is challenged, and a lot of stuff we see is, in some extremism, people feeling like their identity is not valued. I thought it was interesting. It was good. It was really fun.
I have a clubhouse room open right now called "Call the FBI." Report a mirror. 1-800 call the FBI.
Nice.
But anyway, my campaign marches on. But November 18th, we have 4.
Did you like my
hearings.
intro of you at the room the other day?
Yeah, it was good. I got kicked out of there today for claiming that Marshall claimed that he was a communist and a socialist. Yeah, you weren't in there, but I got kicked out. And then I scammed the Facebook Messenger chat with my donation link, and then quoted what Marshall said in a room, and Gary got furious.
I love it.
Totally worth it, though. Marshall is the dumbest, somewhat nice guy you've ever met. Not that much of a gentleman. I mean, he can go off on people, and he has horrible listening skills, and he's you know, something's off with him. But
I love when you said stank and rankin.
yeah, that's what he is. He's stinking ranky. He's got fucking meth mouth. He's got fucking dry flakes coming off his lips, probably dandruff.
Dude, you're pretty funny, buddy. You say a lot. I love it.
Lots of freckles. I mean, see, you gotta roast people because otherwise shit gets boring, dude. People need to get made fun of. I mean, I've been
I
in
love it.
enough situations where if people weren't willing to make fun of people, it would have been just miserable. I guess that German term, Schadenfreude, taking joy in somebody else's misery or suffering or something. There's like some sick. There, like, comedy is a little sick and twisted, because you're you're laughing at somebody else's expense. Anyways, well, I'll be looking forward to watching your Christian nationalism. Alan Watts was always claiming that the Bible's a very dangerous book, and we have to be on the watch out for Christian nationalists. But they never seem to become a problem, unless they just blended right in.
Wait, but I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna put the audio version up. I'm gonna do a better audio than this, but here's the link to the. We got 26 views so far. All right, that's not bad. This is a TV station filmed it. The local TV station filmed it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this is their YouTube feed, not mine.
Was it tied into this guy's? Did this guy have a book or anything, or was it just a?
No. It was just me and my buddy Bill who did this podcast. So we co-hosted it. We do this podcast together, my friend Bill and I, called New Persuasive Words. So there you go, buddy. There's the link to the show. That's a pretty good picture.
Are you gonna download it?
Yeah, I'll probably download it and put it on my own YouTube channel.
Let's see. Well, you want to live stream this tomorrow? Want to live stream the audio tomorrow on YouTube, on Clubhouse?
Yeah, whatever.
Is this guy Jewish?
What's that?
Is this guy Jewish?
No, but we had a rabbi respond.
Why is he wearing a kippah?
Oh, the rabbi. That guy's a rabbi. The respondent's a rabbi, yeah.
Oh, no comments yet? I'm going to be the first to comment. How about, very interesting, Scott.
Yeah, say it's nice to see you get off Clown House and get in the real world. Nat
TV serves as a community media hub Vermont's 25 community media centers. Wow, cool. They have
Yeah,
this.
they did a great job videoing it, but their audio was just a little desktop audio, so I could show you like I'll text you like my audio is gonna.
You should have live streamed it onto Clownhouse.
So what what I did was Bill had a little sound system, a little portable sound system, like not a portable, but like a little PA system you'd set up in like a fellowship hall or synagogue or church or whatever. And so I have a Zoom H6 like audio recorder. So I plugged that into the mics that we were using. See, that video is not getting the sound directly off the mics we're using. Mm-hmm. It's just picking up the room audio. So I plugged into the soundboard itself and got a relay then and cleaned up the audio. So I have a really nice audio copy.
Well, if you want to get more views, this is how I've done it over the years, is just post it to Reddit. I can mass post it for you, but I'll just post it to all the Christian Reddit threads, and it should get you some views. Give you more search engine juice. But it'll get you views right out of Reddit. A lot of people use Reddit. And then you should create a room about it on Clubhouse and then live stream the audio and break it down and clip it. And yeah, you could clip it. You could sit there and stream yourself watching it and then clip the audio of you listening to it, for like consequential parts. Or I clipped Clubhouse all day long. I did a tarot card reading room. A lot of romance questions from pathetic girls.
Nice.
Ain't never getting that guy back because he's already taken. And you got to get to the gym.
Well, this morning I got up this morning. I did 200 push-ups, 205 push-ups in sets, like 30, 30, 30. Like I got to and then, and then I did 10 minutes of like some cardio, and then I did 10 minutes of yoga.
Nice.
My road workout.
On the road again. Scott's a Christian man on the road again.
I got a big Jew coming on the podcast Thursday.
Spreading the word of the gospel for Christ again. Scott's gonna bring big Jesus back from the dead.
No, I'm big into Jesus.
Well, why is Uncle Steve so sensitive about, atheists essentially just believing in, believing that the book club is, just fantasy. It's all just science fiction. What's the deal with Uncle Steve? I mean, he lost his marriage, he lost his career, he lost his faith. And now he's living in the lifestyle, hanging out with young African American men.
The lifestyle.
What happened? He lost his great integrity. He lost his great integrity. Well, I created a new house today called Uncritically Thinking.
I love it.
And I was live streaming Gary's room into it because people are like, what's his face, David or whatever? He's like, I'm voting Republican, but we have to do everything we can do to stop Trump and stop this administration. I'm like, what? How are you voting? How are you claiming you're a Republican, but you want to destroy the government? Dude, people are not handling Trump well. Not even close. Trump has people up at night. They can't stop thinking about this guy. Their whole lives have essentially become one orange melange. And he's just getting started, man. They're going to expand capacity for these deportations. They really think they can achieve 20 million. They're going to have $1 million a month turnover? What? Do you believe that? They're like buying up all this like warehouse facilities so they can, they're going to literally take over an Amazon warehouse, multiple Amazon warehouse facilities so they can do $1 million. Like, how's that possible? Anyways, big career opportunity. Big opportunities ahead of you.
I love it.
That's what people in the IRS kept telling me. Oh, this is a great career. So many opportunities ahead of you. These fucking people have been parasiting off the government for like 40 years. Full pensions. Never left the job. Just still sitting there doing nothing every day. Maxing out at GS14 Series 30.
GS14, baby.
Getting paid the salary of a fucking 5-star general. 40 years at the IRS. There was one guy, he was 96 years old working at the IRS. I was like, how old is that guy? He's like, oh, he's 96. I was like, that motherfucker is still working at 96? Oh my God. A GS65. He had been there 65 years.
You know what the temperature is in Vermont right now?
What?
28 degrees.
Dude, you should be swiping right, like, whenever I travel, man. I mean, if you're single, like, now's the time to do some fishing because you're that new guy and, like, the dopamine for somebody new is huge. So you'll have all these chicks in town being like, oh, who's this new guy Scott in town? Who's this new guy Scott in town? Swipe right, swipe right.
I love you, buddy.
It's true, dude. I'm telling you, man.
I know.
Miracles
But
happen.
you're a good dude, man. You really are.
I'm looking out for you because I'm only telling you what I want. I think my taste preferences or my aesthetic is is pretty good. I've always had good taste.
I love it. I love it, buddy. All right, buddy. Well, I'm gonna head to bed.
Okay, safe travels.
Hey, buddy. I'll see you in the room tomorrow.
Okay, hasta mañana, amigo.
All right, pal. Good to hear your voice.
Okay,
Talk to you later.
bye. This is the show that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends.
Now I want you to just let yourself melt a little bit. Just. Can't laugh. Have to relax. I want you to close your eyes. Everything can wait. Everything can wait. The world can wait. The world can wait.
Okay, maybe we should create an ASM. Oh, we can still get the mirrors room.
There's a lot of church fathers that would disagree with that. Especially, and here's the ironic part, especially the Alexandrian ones. Because the Alexandrian ones, being from Egypt, knew Egyptian history, and they knew that this shit didn't actually happen, right? So they came to the interpretation of, this must be like an allegory of some sense. Because they knew for a fact that 600,000 people did not leave Egypt and then go to Palestine. Like that's just not possible. Right? So they came to the interpretation that this must be an allegory. This is not actually literally true. Yeah, this is very well founded in church history.
There's a difference between what you're saying and what gone, whatever.
Stop mocking Christianity in the chat, otherwise I'll have to kick you out of my fucking room.
I wish you was there.
Sure. Listen, man, a lot of Christians have a misunderstanding of what Christianity is, and honestly, I agree with all of
I
them.
think Nadia should be a Christian because if you can't call
Nargis was
yourself a
close enough,
Muslim
honestly. She didn't need
and say you don't believe the Quran is a divine word of God.
Yeah, man, honestly, she's close enough. She's basically a Christian Muslim.
Ooh.
Well,
You.
that's the earliest
Why?
stage. That's Nora's earliest.
Because you're a Neoplatonist.
How does that make me a Christian Muslim?
Yeah, because Neoplatonism works better with,
I want to hear from Samson.
Neoplatonism is much older than Christianity.
Samson, are you Christian?
yeah, it's older. Obviously, it's older.
Neoplatonism is probably its Plotinus model, probably adopted by people before him. Like this is not new to the human family or human philosophy.
No, it's not. Of course not.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and that goes
doesn't
to
make
show
me a
that.
Christian Muslim.
No, kind of. But no, hold on. But that goes to show.
Abide by like radiation or ultimate reality of things. Like
Yeah,
radiation
but that goes to show, Norgus, and I think you would agree with this, that we didn't need the prophets, right, to come to this conclusion. That the prophets came to give us this conclusion from a Christian mindset, of course, as a result of God's grace.
Yeah.
Not out of necessity.
It is God's mercy.
Yes, out of God's grace and mercy that He sent prophets to explain to us.
I agree,
Yes.
the intermediary or the...
But they were not necessity.
I think, me being a necessitarian, a prophet is necessary. Like a divine...
Okay, so Plato was a
guidance
prophet?
is necessary.
So Plato was a prophet.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think...
That's probably... Aristotle was a prophet, Buddha was a prophet, these people were prophets. Fantastic.
No. Like, you guys are awesome. Like, they had prophetic message that they
Wait.
right?
You see why I call her a Christian Muslim?
No, don't call her a Muslim. I want you. We can claim her, bro. You can have her. We don't want her.
And I even think Zarathustra was
Listen, I want to hear from Samson. If he's a Christian, if Samson is a Christian, I want to hear his perspective on it.
Benny Adam, like, when did Plato become a prophet in Christianity, Benny Adam? Like, come on.
No, he's not.
No.
No, he's not. I'm not saying that he was. That's the point. I'm saying that Plato got to this theology. Hold on. I'm saying Plato got to this theology independent of God. That you can achieve this theology, this understanding of God,
Independent of God. Who is ever independent of God?
Okay, hold on. Non-existent. I'm saying independence of divine revelation.
Probably qualifies as not a Rasul with a Risala. Plato probably qualifies as a sign from God who probably holds the truth. Now, does it make him a Rasul? No, it doesn't.
It makes him a Nabi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a prophet is. Rasul is messenger.
But not a Rasul with a Risala.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. But he's a Nabi.
And no one's free of divine inspiration. Like, I don't know, as a Christian...
Wait, you have You have divine inspiration? Hold on, Benito. You have divine inspiration?
Yeah, Benny has divine inspiration.
No, don't talk about Benito. Don't talk about it. You have divine inspiration?
I don't have that. When did I say I have divine inspiration?
You just said everybody has divine inspiration.
I did not say everybody.
You literally said that.
No, I did not. I don't make such informed statements that I cannot provide evidence.
Have you ever met somebody with divine inspiration?
Have I met someone with divine inspiration is not revelation. So you're gonna you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot right here.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, she's gonna say Mikhail. Mikhail.
He's Ibn Arabi. Dude, inspiration is not the same as revelation. Revelation is very cool. Revelation is Salah. Listen, you fool, Prince. I'm not. Inspiration is tajalli. Okay, revelation
inspiration is wahi. It's wahi.
No.
Revelation is wahi.
Inspiration is tajalli. There are many great people
Samson, are you a Christian?
Very spiritual.
You know what? Never mind.
Inspired by God, right?
Hold on a second. Let's ask the atheist Jew. Buttercup.
Yes, Habibi.
الله يلعن شكلك هذا راح تلبسني مساعد والله حي.
What do you say?
Anyway, Nagus, I wanted to ask you what makes us Persian.
We know rules.
Oh my God, Samson.
No rules makes us Persian.
Samson.
The Majusiness in us makes us Persian.
Please, we don't have this conversation because...
No, it's a good point. It's a very good point.
Discussion.
Sadly, my 23andMe provided me as most Arab. So I don't know how to face this with my
abusive.
my lineage is so I don't know.
Samson, what Christian denomination do you belong to?
I'm not ashamed. But Nagus, listen, the reason why
it's
Nuruz, Samson. That's really what makes us spiritual.
Wait, I thought he was a Christian.
Because of the picture.
No, I remember him saying he was a Christian, but maybe I was wrong.
Maybe he's a Christian Jew, like whatever.
I think a Jew.
He can be anything he wants.
What are those people called? Bnei Adam again, the Christian Jews?
Black Hebrew Israelites.
No.
Oh, he's
God bless it. That Trump is actually playing, in instances, but I think they're actually playing three-dimensional chess here. I think too much talking, because I was thinking about that in the audience as well. I'm like, well, they need that better surrogates.
Yeah, and his principle about fair democracy, he never forced people to be Muslims. Like, I love his story, to be honest.
Yeah, it's bad.
I believe Aisha must have fallen asleep.
Just because I'm on mute and I'm listening? Jeez.
Long duration. I was just like, what's going on?
My Mitsubishi said, fuck you.
I know it did.
See it happily. Well, I was offering earlier to what's her name, Elena. She needed some prescription drugs, and you know how cheap prescription drugs here in Canada, right across the border.
Yeah, I have a long problem with Canadian drugs, so I'd rather not get into it, but yeah.
Okay, because I said it, whatever you need, I'm like, listen, I can pick it up here and just fucking put it in the mail.
No, I understand. There was a time when I was taking a med from there, and when I started taking the US version of it, it worked better.
Actually, or do you think it was a placebo? I think it's the same ingredients by FDA.
Yeah. There was placebos in the Canadian meds I was getting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So I'm a little reluctant to do that after that.
Yeah, me too. I would be in that case.
Yeah.
And this was by a big brand, by a big pharmaceutical company, like Pfizer.
Dude, it was like one of those mail-in, like they mail the script to your home kind of shit. But straight from Canada.
But was it generic brands or was it original?
Generic. One was an original.
And was the original good, or you still felt the same way?
The original was the placebo.
The original and the generic ones were working, huh?
Yeah, dude.
That's interesting. I would have thought opposite.
That's what I'm saying. It was trippy, bro. Like, here's what happened. It took a week, and I'm like, something's wrong. Like, I just felt something's wrong. So I went to my fucking pharmacist back in the day. And I said, Gary, there's something wrong. He goes, let me check something. He looks and he goes, you're taking a Canadian script, aren't you? I go, yeah. He goes, hold on a second. And he gives me the dosage for the day. Right, Rafi?
Like a sample, basically, before you purchase.
He gave me 2 pills. He gave me what I needed that day.
Okay.
He said, take that. He gave me water, gave me the cup. Boom. Shit was working. He goes, I go, what the fuck is going on? He goes, we know about that.
So it's a known thing.
Yeah.
Wait, I really gotta know this. How are you on your first name basis with your pharmacist?
This was back. You remember back in the day when you knew your pharmacist?
No.
And shit.
No.
Okay. There used to be a time when
you would know. You mean like on a first name basis?
Your pharmacist used to be like your family doctor. You would know. You would only go to one place.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I see that, like, for my dad, for example, like his pharmacy where he picks up his pills are the same place where his family doctor sits.
Yeah.
So as soon as he walks out, he constantly goes to the same pharmacist. So he already knows my dad's record.
You can contact my dad's.
I go to a small. I go to a small pharmacist. Small guy. I mean, he did well, but he was a small pharmacist.
It was like a family shop, like a person.
Yeah, it was a family.
What was he like? 5'5", 5'6"?
Huh?
You said it was small.
Yeah.
Well, he needs Trent or something. Like this Canadian.
Shut the fuck up! You're just being.
You were talking about the guy.
Bro, like there's Rafi Moronic and now there's Matt Trent Moronic.
Wait. Are you saying the Canadian, like, their scripts are like not as much? What were you saying?
Bro, I took my pharmaceuticals like for my head and anxiety and shit, and it was not working. I'm like, something's off. He goes, what's wrong? I go, I'm not happy right now. I'm not me. Like, I want to hurt somebody. He's like, so he goes into the thing, and he knew the med that probably was off. And so he goes, yeah, hold on, try this, which was basically me taking it for the first time. We're like in seconds, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it wasn't placebo effect, it was just boom. I was like, okay, I see. Never again.
Seth, I'm a certified speakerhead.
Now you were certified trend speaker.
Oh, that too, but I love speakers. I love them.
As long as you're not a certified dickhead, you're fine.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, but no. Okay.
I was gonna say that's the last step. What the fuck is trend? I heard it somewhere, and I don't know if
it's
I've heard it.
horse steroids.
You know what's
then guys take it.
Fucking sick.
Oh, okay. I don't remember if I heard it somewhere else or just Matt said it so many times in the fucking room. I'm having deja vu. Like I already been like hearing this fucking word all my life.
It's sick as fuck.
I'm going home for the holidays, and I need to fit every single.
I refuse to pay for YouTube, the ads, but I get them like fucking 24/7. Might as well.
So are you gonna go gamble? Play cards somewhere, Matt?
Am I gonna go gamble? Why am I gambling?
I don't know. So you can make money.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that. That's a good point.
Like when you go, I just need 20,000. Give it back to you.
Yeah, that's how it works. I'll tell you what. I still have yet to find a feeling as good as. I think the best feeling in the world is getting unstuck, especially like a 6-digit number. It's the best feeling. Rafi can probably back me up on this.
What do you mean?
When you get when you're down a lot of money and then you then you come back from it.
Yeah, but fuck.
It's the best. And then making a fucking $100,000 a night, that's fucking sick as fuck, dude.
Yeah, that's one every fucking 6-7 months, and again, you have 1 in a million to hit it like that.
No, I mean, you just go on a run. It's not in one night. You do it in fucking a week, 2-3 weeks. Doable.
When was the last time you did it? Let's say, Matt.
I did it in June.
Of this year?
Yeah.
And the time prior to it, to be honest?
That would have been August the previous year.
So almost a physical year.
Yeah. Actually, no, it would have been February that year. Not 100, but it was like 60.
So you just rely on gambling?
I have other means.
Okay. What's the most you lost in one day?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll try to cap it, but it's tough. One day, if I lose, there have been games where, like poker, I've lost 60,000 before. It's not fun. But you get numb to it. But it still stings. But like the amount of money, it just like doesn't really even matter, man. Sometimes I get fucking pissed off for losing $20.
I was playing a house game at my friend's place. It was like a family game. It's like his family. It was like just a home game.
Yeah,
sure. We're sitting, we're playing. So there's my brother hosts games. Again,
you want to have muddied messaging. That doesn't make sense to me at all. And like the number one thing that you should want to do, because the number one thing that's going to make a difference here is public opinion broadly. Okay, you are trying to win public opinion. The way the people feel is the amount of pressure that you can put on Republicans. Trump is historically unpopular right now. Keep pushing in that direction. And if you have muddied messaging, it makes it hard for the people to be on your side. And instead of training their fire on the other side, there's infighting. So what he could have done if he knew this was coming to an end was he could have made a grand gesture. He could have basically said, we decided that we weren't going to put the American people through hell. Not on Thanksgiving, not during Christmas. So we found a way to give people a rest, a bit of a break in a hard time because Donald Trump is ruining everything he touches. And we're going to keep fighting for the American people, but right now we're not going to take food out of hungry mouths. Sorry. And instead, we have this muddied mess, and it's not three-dimensional chess. I'm sorry, like, he didn't even have a press release out yesterday. That is, like, basic table stakes of messaging. It's just embarrassing. Like, I don't think that this was the wrong action. I actually think it's the right action, and it's just terribly delivered.
And if I were, again, if this was a normal time and we were in normal situations, I would get it, right? But we are not in normal times. And this is what I think we're forgetting. We are not living in normal times. We are not living in a normal political situation. And I think we are thinking as though we are under normal protocols and normal policies of how normal political times look. It's not normal, guys. It's just not. And when you have rogue-ass senators that are doing rogue-ass shit because they just don't give a fuck, that's what's going to happen. And we just gotta be unokay with it. They're not on messaging with the Democrats. Fetterman has already shown his ass that he's not been on message with the Democrats from day fucking one. This is the same motherfucker that went to the goddamn inauguration in damn a sweatsuit. Are we okay? What are we talking about? This is the same friggin' fool that literally has not been on message since day one. And you are expecting him to be on message now. What are we talking about?
I think there's another,
Really?
There's another consideration. Another consideration is they understand that others understand that as well. Because they're not stupid people. So they understand that others understand that you can use those things to your advantage. Whereas others believe that they are weaknesses, you can use them as strengths. Now, I know this seems a bit far-fetched, but it's not really when you think about it. If I'm playing political theater, I'm going to use those things to my advantage. I'm going to be looking disheveled or sounding like you're not on code or you're not. You can use those things to your advantage if you flush them out. If you actually have a plan, if you're strategic, you can consider this, but this can be a degree of political theater that you can use to your advantage. So I think there's another, and I think the assumption that they don't give a fuck is, that's, there's a case to be made there, but there's also a case to be made in the other direction too. Maybe because they're leaving, they want to leave the party, and they do give a fuck, and they're trying to do what they think is going to help the party. It's awfully suspicious that those 8 people, or the 7 and 1 people are going to 8 people are going to leave at the end of these terms and are not running again. That's too specific not to take that into consideration.
Yeah, the only problem that I have with that, and everything that you said was 100% correct. The only problem with that is that, time is of the essence. And when you look in the paper and you look at social media and you look at the conversation and the national discourse, it doesn't look good. And I laughingly, because how I do sometimes in these spaces, but I laughingly was like, I don't really understand what the mess is, what's going on, why there's a somber mood. And I was saying that because I thought that it was all about food stamps and snaps and everybody getting their paychecks. Then it happens, and then all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of infighting. People are throwing milk cards at each other. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's a bad look.
Well, that's not what it was about initially. That's not what it was about. It's about actually saving the subsidies. It was about saving portions of ACA. So, that's not what it was about initially. The byproduct of the shutdown caused people to lose, to be furloughed rather, and to lose SNAP benefits, which were actually on the, SNAP benefits was actually on the, in the account as well. But the bottom line is now that's all been returned. So, but that's not because of poor messaging. To Aaron's point, and to CEO's point, that's not been the messaging. That's not what's being talked about. What's being talked about is that they didn't hold out long enough because there are segments of there's segments of the constituency that aren't considering the other ones. They aren't considering that there are still people who were furloughed and did not have their job. But there are people who are going to eat. There are people who are going to have their jobs back at least. Well, now they'll have them, they'll have them even past January. But in January, this can come back to the floor. They can start whatever process or whatever strategy they want to implement up until that point and bring this back. They have the opportunity to do the exact same thing at the end of January. And it's not like we're talking about that's a year from now. We're talking about 2 months from now. I think the strategy is brilliant. I just don't think it is. I don't think it's been explained well enough. But maybe, just maybe, there is because done what they should do to this point. Maybe there's a point to that. That's all I'm suggesting. I don't actually know, but I'm saying maybe there's actually something to this as well, especially when there is another option on the other side of it, and it's not even that far away.
Respectfully, I think you're wish casting. Schumer doesn't have a track record of 3-dimensional chess. Schumer, and even still, answer me this. If he had come out and said, if he knew this was coming, which I think they probably did, and I think CEO's right about that they basically decided that the inflection point at which they were going to stop getting political benefit and it was going to either plateau or start to move the other direction was starting to appear, and they had already, I think that they did have some impact on the election, and it was time for a different move. Tell me why it wouldn't have been better to say Donald Trump has put us in an impossible position. Either we let the poorest Americans go hungry leading up into Thanksgiving, federal workers not have paychecks to be able to make their mortgages and car notes and everything else, or we hold out for healthcare. It's an impossible choice, and I want you to know that this impossible choice is because your president doesn't love the American people, but we do. So we've kicked the can down the road. We're going to fight another day. And how would that kind of messaging not be better than what they just did?
That can be true. Everything that what you just said can be true, and that's where I disagree with Quinn on the very last point that he made, because I turned on my TV and everything that I saw on social media, it was the conversation and what I heard from people on the Democratic side, whether it was Hakeem Jeffries, it was SNAP benefits, and it was people getting their paychecks. That was a main talking point in the conversation, and that the Republicans are holding it up. So now, we waited we waited all this time for that. You guys come back to the table, you're not able to get anything other than anything in your favor, and then on top of that, there's infighting and there's all this other stuff. Like this, none of this makes any sense.
But there isn't. But they did get something. They got furloughed workers back, and no one is going to lose their job, which wasn't the case prior to that. There was talk of people losing their jobs permanently. No one's going to lose their jobs. SNAP benefits have been returned, and you can still make the case for the subsidies and ACA at the end of January.
But the question is that why couldn't we have done this?
Do you think what I said
if we didn't get anything else,
what they did?
If we didn't get and that's the thing. If you didn't get anything else besides that original thing, my whole thing is we could have not wasted all this time, and you could have did this weeks ago. If you weren't going to get any other concessions that you were quote unquote demanding,
they could have done what?
Instead of wasting all of this time, you could have.
It wasn't wasted time. You have to consider that this is theater to some degree. I don't know why people think that they're beyond this. This is strategic. I don't understand how that gets lost on people.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing that Mike is obviously missing is that there was an election. Like,
right,
one of the things that they got out of this.
Right, what are you talking about?
Right, but there are people that are going to say that you guys are paying.
Stop. Quinn, I really would, just out of curiosity, like, I wonder if you think what I said is not better messaging.
No, listen.
The Democrats played it.
I would say on the surface, yes. If, and this is a big if to my own admission, if they're not playing chess in some way, maybe this is wishful thinking on my part. There's nothing that would suggest that this would be the case. But I mean, again, I can't see. Well, I can't see that they wouldn't fumble this heavily. But yes, to answer your question, your messaging is absolutely better. And I've not seen, and to be fair, I don't watch much. I read a lot more than I don't watch the news shows and stuff as frequently as I used to. But yes, your messaging around that would be better. I just think that they know that, considering what all they have gained, at least in this small amount of time. Why would you fumble this? Without that understanding. But I also think that, again, it may be strategic. I just can't help but think, and I don't know why I think that, to be fair, but that is strategic in some way. It would have to be. And maybe that's it. Maybe not doing so and allowing that to circulate the way that they have is somehow a distraction in some way. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking more strategic than they are. I really don't know, to be honest.
I mean, I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too.
I hope there's 34-dimensional chess going on, and I'm going to be blown away. Like, honestly, I've been kind of busy and not watching the news as much, and so if anything, I've got more distance from this than I normally would. But to me, it's just like being someone who, in this moment, is more of a casual consumer of news, like more closer to the average American than where I'm usually at, which is a massive politics geek. The stuff that is breaking through looks like Democrats in disarray yet again. And I don't understand how they're not spiking the football right now. And they can spike the football in a way that forces the Republicans to either show exactly care about the American people, who were doing all kinds of terrible things and continue to do all kinds of terrible things, or they have to relent and come back into some level of mainstream where we don't let Americans starve and we don't let Americans pay double for their health care and we don't force federal workers in terrible situations and so on and so forth. I don't understand how this is hard to see. I'm not that smart. I just don't, if that is the plan, spike that football and people are going to go, you know what? Progressives, people who really, or let's just say people who wanted them to hold out longer would at least have a reason. You could say, maybe I disagree with that, but at least they got a strategy and let's see how it plays out. But instead, they let people like the woman that Lisa was playing earlier, be able to go on a rant and basically say, what the hell is the strategy? They did it again. They chickened out. And that to me is just terrible, terrible communications.
I agree. And if we're basing this on what they've done from a messaging aspect on historically, then yes, this is not good. But I don't think that I think there's time to do that, though, if that's the case.
Yeah, but I think that if you share too much, then you allow Trump to disrupt your strategy. So I'm not in favor of over communicating.
Also,
because if it was basically the idea is like, you're trying to end the shutdown because XYZ, like I said, there would have been some sort of pivot he would have made, right? He's just not going to allow that to happen. So I don't see the point of communicating the strategy to that degree. And I think that the base right now just wants blood. So you're just going to have to deal with this sort of thing anyway.
The only pivot that's available to him from the messaging that I provided is to actually feed hungry people, address the healthcare subsidy problem, and stop attacking federal workers. So the pivot is a win for Democrats because, those are the priorities, right? And that would mean that they would have won concessions, and it would be fantastic. The only other pivot that, he could do is what he tends to do, which is, pardon 70 people like Giuliani, just throw like some other random shit in the air, which he does all the time anyway. So that's not even a change. That's not even a pivot. And then the other thing that would be available to him is to do the same stuff and look like an asshole. Like, one thing about federal workers that's true is virtually all of us know one. It's very hard to not know a federal worker. And there's 3 million of them or something like that? They're in every community across the country. This is not a hard thing to do. And so, if you care about people, and Democrats largely do care about people, saying that you took care of people seems like an obvious thing to do. And that's not central to their messaging. How can that not be central to your messaging? You just helped people. Tell the world that you helped them. I don't understand. Because, it's not even political theater because you did. You literally did take pressure off of people who didn't deserve to be harmed. Why wouldn't you say that?
Because the question that some people are going to raise, even though you're right, is why did it take 40 days?
Because you had an election.
So we were playing politics.
Of course. What else do you think it would be?
Yeah, but you don't want to say that. That's the point. You don't want to come out and say that.
Right, you don't want to come out and say that.
playing checkers and y'all playing chess right now.
Yeah, but it's also that the conditions also changed, right? There is a congressionally mandated fund for SNAP that in the event of a shutdown is supposed to be tapped into because Congress agreed that starving people during a shutdown is bad. And Donald Trump, in his infinite wisdom, decided that starving people is good. Yeah. So that was a condition that shifted. So say that, And the fact that they were planning on cutting all these jobs and hurting people, and you save those jobs in at least a semi-permanent way, say that. That's a good reason to change your tune and to take care of people. This isn't. You don't have to be three-dimensional chess when the truth is on your side. You can make it plain, and the people who think in three-dimensional chess, right? People in messaging, we call this people who consider future consequences, or they're high CFC. Okay, people who consider long-term will understand, and people who are low CFC, I'm trying to buy Thanksgiving dinner. Can I do that or not? Or my Thanksgiving meal? Can I do that or not? Right? Who are low CFC, who are just what's right in front of me right now? Can I survive? Can I do what needs to be done? Everyone would understand that. And at least it would be a good argument. Even if there's always going to be someone on the left who's going to say you didn't push hard enough. That's always going to happen. There's always going to be someone in the center who's going to go, we shouldn't have done it at all. That's always going to happen. There's always going to be people on the flanks. But at least for the vast majority of people, you could make a good argument. And that also would work with independents. I can't see the hole in what I'm saying. If you can poke a hole.
All right, so here's, I think, the simplest way to frame it. By not over-communicating, their current position is, we oppose this deal in principle, but won't keep the government shut. That is having your cake and eating it too.
if they over-explained it, then you run the risk of exposing the stagecraft and confirming it was political theater.
Right.
So they didn't say that, and they're continuing to do, and you're going to take a little bit of flack for it, but it's worth what you're risking. Because there was going to be a risk somewhere. You were going to risk something. You were not going to come out of it clean in any way. Even if they were to do what you're suggesting, you still don't come out of it clean. There's still going to be someone who says you didn't do this the right way. You held on, and people are not eating, and you held on, and people aren't getting their medical benefits, and you held on, and people are not able to, people are still out of work. And this is through the holiday season. I fucking hate government. This is horrible, and now everybody's taking a hit. You got to make some choices, and sometimes you got to make some hard ones. The only place I will have any divergence is with Aaron is saying, if in fact we have to entertain that they're just not doing what I think that they're doing, or what I'm suggesting that they may be doing. I don't think they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, but I think that's also the point.
But part of the problem is that their quote-unquote stagecraft was exposed. Namely, Hassan coming out and saying that he knew the whole time. So either Maggie Hassan is secretly a saboteur, or she's telling the truth, and he did know the whole time, and he just wanted to play it off like he was for it because he's more worried about his own reputation than leading the party.
And how popular is she?
Oh my God. It's not a good look. It's not a good look the way that he did it. He hasn't even put out a press release. He hasn't even tried to frame it himself. So just the simple fact of the way messaging works, particularly in today's day and age, where if you're not pushing the message or being someone else is, and it's not going to be to your benefit, just that alone is a mistake. It is a mistake in today's, environment to do that kind of stuff. And this is the thing that I don't understand is, yes, you're going to have some people complain because there's a lot of human beings in the U.S. There's going to be human beings who complain. But if you keep most of your people together and you build political will because people understand what you're for, you can actually build real sustainable power. And the problem with the way Democrats have done things, and this isn't even a left or a right thing, right? This is a stylistic thing, not a policy thing, is that they're constantly acting like they don't need to worry about that gut reaction to the politics. And the gut reaction is actually what matters most, especially the way politics is done today. And so they should have people who gut reaction are yes, I get why they did what they did. Because I've got a federal worker in my life too, and I don't want them to hurt. That's not hard.
My brain can't quite get a handle on the movement. I'm used to seeing a
And I'll also say this, it's also not too late for them to do this. The one thing that is true is that they do have time. Another thing that's true is that the Republicans aren't going to change anytime soon. Donald Trump is losing his shit. He's losing his marbles. That guy is falling steadily into some kind of decline, some kind of sundowner or something. I don't know what's going on, but it's not good. And the Republicans are all sitting there shell-shocked trying to figure out how to stay on message when the message is not something you can stay on because it's rambling. So this is still available to them.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you that. I think in a few days communicating it may make sense, but not so close to it. I think where you're going a few days from now would be fine.
But then you've now let the Bernies and the AOCs and even the Mikey Sherrills, right? It's not just the people on the left. You've got Mark Kelly, who is a very by-the-book, buttoned-up dude, not able to answer a question straight about whether or not Schumer should still be the leader. So you're putting out different messaging that feeds into the Democrats in disarray messaging. And another thing that they could have done was when Schumer realized, and I said this last night, but or maybe 2 nights ago, I don't remember when it was, but like if Pelosi's in charge and she knows that her caucus isn't going to hold the line, I bet you anything she would have had 25 votes for this and a much better claim. Like, hey, we're going to lose this, right? Like we're not holding the line anymore. Like 8 people are out. So we got 2 choices. We can have 8 people do it and we can fight each other. Or we can have 25 people come out and say, we're doing this intentionally. And we got the best deal we were going to get, and we're going to get another deal in January.
There's a huge difference, though, between Schumer and Pelosi. Schumer
one's good and one's shit.
No, not that. Schumer is never going to be louder than Bernie and AOC, etc. He's never if he's competing for messaging, he's always going to lose 100% of the time. So he is better off letting them say what they're going to say and getting all that out and trying to win the long game on the messaging, right? So have a narrative end of this week, have a long-term, but let them go ahead and get all their stuff out. Because he can never win the message on it, whereas Pelosi could. Pelosi could always win the messaging in the moment.
Schumer has never won the long game in the messaging, and Pelosi almost always has. Because she actually has, like, real political instincts. Like, she understands the way the winds are blowing, and she always understood that when she had the votes, she would act like she had the votes, and when she didn't, she would act like she didn't. And she knew where her people were, and she established enough trust and enough consistency that her people were willing to, like, sit down and shut up when needed, right? To trust the process and to understand that she was doing the best that she possibly could. And Schumer does not have that confidence because he's a shitty leader. He's not good at it. Like, when you hear him speak, half the time it doesn't land. It doesn't make any sense. He's got negative charisma, and Pelosi wasn't a good speaker. Like, in terms of, like, her oration, right? Like, she wasn't charismatic. And I just don't understand, like CEO, you're in comms, right? Explain not putting out a press release.
I think the strategy was allow them to get it out of her system. Because whatever you're going to have is just going to get slammed and terrorized. So sometimes the most effective thing to do in crisis communication is literally to say nothing. We've done that with clients many times because basically whatever you put out is just going to be a bone that gets destroyed, right? So sometimes it is better to be silent.
So you think in this case it was better to be silent?
I think in this case, you're going to get Bernie and all these people with all this stuff out of her system. And if he has, I'm now making an assumption, if he has a long-term communication strategy, he'll be better off playing that game than having tried to compete in the moment immediately. Yeah.
So
but again, that's a big assumption. That's a big assumption.
Yeah, I disagree with you, and here's part of it, right? So Bernie has been consistent for, if anything, his entire career. Like, Bernie has been playing the same note for 40, 50 years. And that note is that he's for working people. And if Schumer had come out and said, whether we're talking about Bernie on my left, who's been a stalwart fighter for the working man his entire career, who, I'm saying this to you, my friend, there were a lot of working people who are being hurt by the government being shut down. And while I know you might not agree with this choice, know that I'm doing it because I'm aligned with you. That would have been good. Bernie would have could have said, at least our values are the same, even if our tactics diverge. And that would have been so much better. And he could have said the same thing with people in the center. Because, like, if Mark Warner and Tim Kaine aren't on the same side of something, you got plenty of room to talk to both the center and the left.
Bernie would never do that. Bernie always wants to put Democrats' heads on a stake, just like a lot of you guys on the left. It's always the Dems' fault.
they don't have a backbone, if they would not have shut the government down and just gave in the beginning, there would have been a problem. We knew the Republicans were not going to move from their position because they do not care about American suffering. And so the Dems decided that they were going to play this out to the election. This has happened where they have sent these 8 or 6 senators out there to open back up the government so they can continue to fight while staying on messages that they did not consent to this deal, because had they done what you said, Your Honor, people would have still called them spineless. If you're not listening, people are saying that American people wanted to continue to shut down, regardless of what the consequences were for federal workers, for benefits, or anything else. They wanted the government to stay shut down. So had Schumer came out and said exactly what you said, everybody would have been doing the same thing you're doing now, saying that he's feckless, he's spineless, he just gave in to the Democrats, they're not going to do this. There is no winning for some of the Americans for Democrats. It doesn't matter what Republicans do, they're going to turn their ire to Democrats every single time, regardless of what decision that they make. Instead of having rooms about Republicans don't care about American people, they would have allowed the government to stay shut down. Instead of negotiating with Democrats, we're having a room about Democrats or whatever, or they lead us astray. They bamboozle us. They give us nothing. They don't have a backbone. All those things. This is what happens constantly. So I agree with MAGA when he constantly says, if I was a Democrat, I would do nothing. I wouldn't care anymore either. Because what do you get for caring? You get the same shit that you get for not caring. They get more iron than fucking Republicans at this point. It's just so exhausting to hear about what Democrats did wrong every single time, yet nobody tries to run and do anything different. Because most of the time, the people who have all of this ire for them, they would be doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing if they were in these Dems positions. Well, I don't believe any of this stuff that people are saying at all.
They just say things because, first of all, again, like I say this 100% every single time, the people that are normally talking, like the gentleman in the chat, don't have a fundamental understanding of government in general. That's where it begins and ends. So the things that come out of their mouths are emotional more than sensible, because you don't have any sensibility to select from, because you don't have any information you don't know. So the only thing you're going to hear from people like that are emotional things, because they don't have any information to pull from. So I don't expect to hear anything different from them. So I mean it's disheartening, but it's not without a degree of anticipation.
So you think, Your Honor, that if Chuck Schumer decided to join the 8 and or even led the Democratic Party together to reopen the government with the deal that they have, right? And communicated that they are opening it because we have to think about the workers, people would not be dragging him even harder than they are dragging him now, even though he voted no, and there are reports that he tried to stop it and couldn't stop it. Like, come on. I agree 100% on it. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, the scenario you presented isn't the scenario that I'm suggesting. I didn't say he should have voted against it and also said he was for it, because that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. What I'm saying is that it made sense for Democrats to relent in this moment. I actually agree with the tactics of opening the government. I actually think that this is the right moment to do it. And the pain that was coming around the bend was going to be like intolerable, both in terms of just the material impacts on people, and also that the political impacts were probably not going to redound to Democrats' favor, and certainly not in a way that would be worth the pain that people were going to have to go through. Given that, yes, he would have still received smoke from someone. I just literally, I don't know if you were in the room or not, he absolutely would have received ire from people. That's absolutely true. But I absolutely believe that if he had gotten 20 Democrats to vote for this, and I'm not saying 20 Democrats were going to come together ahead of time, but once it was clear the writing was on the wall, he absolutely should have pivoted. Because it was going to happen anyway. So at that point, the question is do you want to have political infighting where literally his own caucus is at each other's throats in the media, or do you want to have a principled stand? Like, that's the choice that he made. The choice is he didn't take principled stand. He took infighting.
No,
and that's the choice that
infighting
he's made
would have
over
been-
and over and over again.
No,
and it's why
infighting
he's
would
not a
have
Nancy
been
Pelosi.
to sacrifice Democrats who would have to face their constituents back at home who don't understand what's going on and would have had some type of visceral reaction to them voting yes. Had the ones who were not, who were up for different elections coming up, or who had a seat that might have been in jeopardy, voted yes, that would have been political suicide for them. So the best thing that he could have done was allow them to vote no so that they can take cover to say, I disagree with us opening up the government because that's what the people want to hear.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense for people whose seats were up or could be up in the future to then vote yes when we know that the majority of Americans at this point only cared about them, quote unquote, taking a stand. That's all they cared about.
The vast majority of, well, it's about 2/3 of Democrats aren't up for re-election right now.
I'm saying they, at some point.
And then you throw in retirements on top of that. And most of them aren't in competitive seats because we don't have a lot of competitive seats, period. So there's plenty of other people who could have, like I said 20. I didn't say the whole caucus. I didn't say 40. I said 20. Right?
But there's no need to risk any of them, is my point.
None of them are risked. Like, I'm talking about people like Mark Warner or
just
like
because
the
they're
Ryan
in a blue
senators
district doesn't
or even a California.
Their seat.
Alyssa Slotkin voted against this.
Okay.
She's in Michigan.
Your Honor, I'm trying.
Like she made a choice to actually like vote opposite of what you're saying, and she decided that it was the right thing for her to do. And that's a meaningful thing for her. Like, and she's absolutely in a seat that potentially could be at risk at some point. So what are we saying? You think Alyssa Slotkin doesn't know what's best for Alyssa Slotkin? She's been one of the most talented politicians in recent memory. I don't love everything about her, but she's very, very good.
I don't understand the logic, Your Honor. What's the difference between 8 and 20 people? Isn't that going to fracture the party?
I would think so.
I don't. So 8 people fractures the party, but 20 people would not fracture the party?
You know, with the problem, like, I really am getting tired of you strawmanning me. Like, first off, we've been on here long enough and friendly enough for you to not strawman me with, like, I didn't say, well, you're literally, okay, let me explain the strawman, okay? So I didn't, Bonnet, I don't, why are you talking over me? Do you want, I am, if you would let me finish.
Nobody's actually explaining a straw man, though. Explain the logic.
It's the same thing.
Versus 20.
It's not a question of 8 versus 20. The question is 20 making a principled stand who are able to articulate to the American people why this is the right choice to make versus 8 people who are presented as defectors where you've got one side of the party fighting tooth and nail with the other side of the party, where it's not even like the normal sides, right? Like some of these are center versus center and left versus left, where there's no clear messaging that is coming out to the point where on Chuck Schumer's own website, he doesn't even have a press release out. It is unclear what the strategy is here. And you've got a whole bunch of amped up Americans who are like out in the streets, who are like trying to make change in their communities because they're fed up with stuff that's going on, and you're not leading them. So what I'm saying is the question is leadership versus not leadership. And what he did, where apparently he knew, but also was against it, but maybe tried to fight it, but muddy, is not leading. And so it looks like Democrats in disarray. And what I'm saying is like, even if it was 8, okay, and it wasn't 20, and at least he said, this is the choice that we had to make, that would be better. The messaging on this is what stinks.
But I don't agree that would be better. I think.
Okay, make an argument for the messaging.